Hey guys, we're here to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be reacting to scary story animations. And finally I got some light over here so I don't have to stay as dark as hell over here. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Alright, so which ones? We're reacting to the Creepy Nun.
Thank you so much for coming here. We were waiting for you. Thank you for having us. I'm Ed.
Sure.
This is my wife, Lorraine. Lorraine looked around the property. The moment our car reached near this house, I saw her behavior changed. I could tell from her worried eyes she was feeling something.
Oh, get that creepy bug away from me. I'm not
face.
playing these games.
Mr. Donovan was leading us the way. The big two-storied and wooden house stood like a lone wolf in the middle of nowhere. Dry leaves were all over the ground. Please, come in. A woman came and held Lorraine's hand. I could see the fear on her face. I can't thank you enough for coming here. Please help us. Lorraine comforted her, saying, Mrs. Donovan, that's why we're here.
Let's go.
Everything. Yes, come, let's sit. Lorraine and I walked to the living room. The house was really cold. There was a chilling sensation in the air of the house, as if the temperature dropped all of a sudden. We sat down on the couch. Mrs. Donovan sat next to Lorraine, and Mr. Donovan grabbed a chair and sat near the fireplace. I keep turning the heater on, but still, the house temperature remains cold. Lorraine and I exchanged looks, because we knew the reason behind it. Mr. Donovan lit up the fireplace. A maid came and served us hot coffee.
Let's go.
I took a sip from the coffee cup
Yeah,
and said,
drink that coffee.
How long
Drink that coffee. Hey,
It's been a few years now, but the incidents have been happening for the past few months.
I have one thing to say, guys. What's wrong with their face? What's wrong with their faces, bro? Alright, let's go. Back into the video.
Everything was going well. We were happy here,
But low key though, what's wrong with their faces?
Turned into nightmares. Mrs. Donovan was trying hard to stop her tears. Can you please tell us how it all started? Lorraine said. Mrs. Donovan looked at the fireplace. She kept quiet for some time and watched the flames.
She kept quiet. She's scared as hell.
It was around 3 a.m. in the morning. Heavy rain and thunderstorms were going on outside. Our daughter Patty was sleeping upstairs, and our son Brian's room was right next to hers. I woke up hearing a whispering.
What's wrong with her eyes? Why did it go like
the
that?
hallway downstairs.
First,
I thought maybe Brian was watching TV secretly.
Now I'm blinking even more.
Downstairs, dark and empty. I was going back
Let's
to my
go,
room,
guys.
thinking
There's
my
no school.
imagination when I heard footsteps going upstairs.
There's no school.
I
There's
ran
no
to see who
school.
it was, but there was no one. It was just me, standing alone near the stairs amidst the thunder and lightning. I went upstairs to check on my kids. I found Brian in deep sleep in his room. I was about to go inside Patty's room when I heard whispers coming from her. I opened her door and saw she was sitting on her bed. I asked her who she was talking to. She just told me no one.
Shut up.
That she woke up to the sound of lightning. I noticed the windows of her room were shut and locked.
Dang.
Just to be sure, I searched her room. I mean, she is young, and I didn't want any boy to sneak into her room in the middle of the night. But there was no one. So I came back to bed. After that night, bizarre things started to happen.
Alright, I'm taking off my beanie now.
What kind of bizarre things? I asked. One day I woke up and went to the washroom to clean my face. I turned on the tap and splashed water on my face, and as soon as I lifted my head and looked in the mirror, I saw... What did you see, Mrs. Donovan? My face and hands were covered with blood. Blood was coming out of the tap instead of water. The entire sink was red and splattered with blood. Mrs. Donovan hid her face into her palms, remembering the fearful memory. Mr. Donovan replied, We don't know what's happening here. Last week, our car tires started to burst out on their own. No matter how many times I changed them, every morning Patty would find a flat tire. Our kids are terrified, and so are we. You see those pictures on the table? Mr. Donovan pointed out to the corner of the room. I saw a framed family photo that was kept on the table. Every time we hung those pictures, some invisible force knocks them down. Not just that, our wallpapers come off of the walls for no reason. It seems like someone peels them vigorously. Furniture moves on its own, and now you're even terrified of our daughter. What's wrong with your daughter? Lorraine asked. Mrs. Donovan started sobbing in a low voice. Mr. Donovan looked at her and said in a low voice, "She's changed."
Alright guys, I'll pause the video. If y'all hear noises, that's from my TV because I was watching something. Alright, let's go back.
Something got into her. Last night we were having dinner. All four of us were sitting at the dining table.
Hold up, 1 second.
Patty was sitting beside me when she suddenly looked up at the ceiling and froze. She was staring at the blank ceiling for no reason. I asked her what it was, but she didn't say anything. She then looked at me and smiled in a very disturbing way. What are you smiling at?
Guys, I'm scared right now because the reason why I'm scared is because it's nighttime and I'm reacting to this. I'm reacting to this at nighttime and it's scary. Sight, I ain't scared. Let's go back.
Patty, I asked her. What she said
I'm
still
gonna play
gives
this
me
jump like
goosebumps.
Pac-Man.
Why? What did she tell you? I spoke. Mr. and Mrs. Donovan exchanged a fearful look. She looked right into my eyes
away
and
from me
said,
with that creepy
"You all
jump.
smell different.
I'm talking about this
You're
video.
awake."
It's creepy.
For the first time, the silence in the room made my heart skip a beat. Lorraine looked
Skip a
at me
beat?
and said,
You making me scared. Now let me turn
House
on
Ed. "We need
my
to talk with
TV.
your daughter. Where is your son?" I sent him to stay with my brother for a while. Patty's behavior scared him badly, and we wanted to keep him out of this house.
I had to do it because I was
Let's go
getting
meet Patty then.
creeped
We all got up and started to walk upstairs.
out by
It's time
this
to meet
video.
Patty, for whom we came here for. A humming sound was coming from her room. Mr. Donovan pushed the door, and we saw a young teenage girl lying on a bed and humming mysteriously. Lorraine said in a low voice,
Oh,
"How
she
are you?"
ugly.
She got up on her bed and stared at us with her big blank eyes. Lorraine sat close to her and
Oh,
said,
nobody's smiling. Let
"Patty,
me shut up.
what was that song you were humming?" "My boyfriend taught me." "Your boyfriend? Is he in your school?" "Nope."
Bro, she's so creepy. Oh my god.
I used to be a
Skip over this. Alright, I'm back.
"How did he get inside?" "I called him with a keyboard. He told me I'm the most beautiful girl in the world." We were all shocked to hear this from Patty. Lorraine looked at me with scared eyes. I knew what she was trying to tell me. I got close to Patty and said, "Did he tell you his
I'm
name?"
creeped out. I'm
No.
creeped.
I keep
I'm
asking
creeped
him, but he
out.
never says.
She's ugly too.
What else is he
She
doing?
got bug eyes.
Patty was going to say something when suddenly she looked at the door behind me and froze. "What is it, Patty? Is someone standing there?" I asked. "He doesn't want you here." "Can you ask him what he does want?" "He doesn't want you here. He wants you out of this house. He's saying he wants you all dead." Before we could say anything more, Patty started to scream violently and scratch her face with her nails. It was a horrifying scene to watch a
Give
young
me some more
healthy girl
scream.
tearing her skin like
She's
this.
scary.
"Oh my God, Patty, stop!" Mr. Donovan and I held
Oh
Patty
my
down on the bed
God.
while she kicked and screamed like an animal. Mrs. Donovan burst into tears, screaming in pain. Lorraine took her out of the room immediately. We had no other way than tying Patty's hands to the bed to
why
stop
would
her
she
from
do
hurting
that?
herself. Within 5 minutes, Patty calmed down and fell asleep, as if nothing happened. We came out of her room and sat down in the living room. No one talked for a few moments, and then Lorraine spoke. "Your daughter must have felt lonely and used that Ouija board out of curiosity. In that process, she invited an evil entity into your house. Now, this demon has latched itself onto her, and all that has been happening to you in his deeds.
How come when I
We
get
must
close
stop
to the
this demon
camera it's
before it
dark?
takes Patty's soul away. Ed, It's time to call Father Jason. We must perform the exorcism today. Father Jason arrived right after sunset. We all walked upstairs.
I have one thing to say. I have one thing to say. I got Jesus on my side, so I'm straight. Play that back.
As soon as we entered Patty's room, we saw a horrifying scene. Patty had somehow freed herself and was standing near the window. Patty.
Guys, I'm scared.
Are you all right?
But at least y'all have a gun.
Father Jason said in a soft voice. She didn't turn back, but her upper body started to bend towards her feet. She looked right at us with blood-red eyes.
Move that away from me. Nah, guys, I'm scared. Definitely scared. I'm big time scared. Double dog scared. Why is her eyes like that? Play that again. Play that again.
Mrs. Donovan screamed and ran downstairs in fear.
She's
Patty
creepy.
laughed in a demonic voice. That night, Father Jason and I fought the devil with all our power. Patty was extremely violent.
Beat him up.
We tied her to the bed, but she kept cursing us.
Man, beat her
I
up.
could tell the demon possessed her completely and was reluctant to leave. We chanted our prayers. Pieces of furniture were levitating in the air. A chair came right at me, as if someone threw it to harm me. But we didn't stop. The windows were slamming hard. A gush of wind ravaged the entire room. And the demon and Patty laughed, screamed, but we didn't stop. We had to save this girl. The exorcism went on the whole night. Right after dawn, we saw Patty's body being lifted in the air. It was all happening on its own.
Jesus, help her.
Father Jason said his last prayer and sprinkled the holy water on her. As soon as he did that, Patty's mouth was wide open, and black smoke came out and drifted away out of the window. Everything fell silent. Lorraine rushed upstairs and said,
It's like
"It's
Mike
over
Tyson
now. We've done it. We can feel it."
And then she
I believe in
knocked
Lorraine's
out,
ability.
bruh.
I knew she was right.
Alright guys, that's the end of the YouTube video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and peace. That was creepy as hell.